Janet Yellen's life story. Janet Louise Yellen, born August 13, 1946, in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, New York, is a trailblazing American economist who has left an indelible mark on U.S. economic policy. As the first woman to serve as chair of the Federal Reserve, 2014-2018, U.S. Treasury Secretary, 2021-2025, and chair of the White House Council of Economic Advisers, 1997-1999, Yellen is a towering figure in economics, known for her expertise in macroeconomics, labor markets, and monetary policy. Her career, spanning academia, public service, and policymaking, reflects a commitment to rigorous analysis, public welfare, and breaking gender barriers. Early life and education. Yellen grew up in a working-class neighborhood in Brooklyn, the younger child of Julius Yellen, a family physician, and Anna Ruth, an elementary school teacher. Her father's practice, run from the ground floor of their brownstone, exposed her to the human toll of economic hardship, as dockworkers and laborers sought care, sometimes unable to pay due to unemployment. These experiences shaped her focus on the real-world impacts of economic policy. A precocious student, Yellen excelled at Fort Hamilton High School, where she was valedictorian and editor of the school newspaper. Most elite magnet schools were closed to girls at the time, but her academic brilliance shone through. She enrolled at Brown University, initially considering mathematics but switching to economics after being captivated by its blend of logical rigor and concern for human welfare. She graduated summa cum laude in 1967 and earned her Ph.D. in economics from Yale University in 1971, studying under Nobel laureate James Tobin, whose Keynesian ideas about government intervention to stabilize economies influenced her deeply. Her meticulous lecture notes from Tobin's classes became legendary among Yale students, dubbed the Old and New Testament, for their clarity and utility. Early academic and professional career. Yellen began her career as an assistant professor at Harvard University, 1971-1976, a rare position for a woman in the male-dominated field of economics. In 1977, she joined the Federal Reserve Board as a staff economist in the Division of International Finance. There, in the Fed's cafeteria, she met George Akerlof, a fellow economist who would become her husband in 1978 and later win the Nobel Prize in Economics in 2001 for his work on information asymmetry. The couple, who have a son, Robert, born in 1981, have collaborated extensively, viewing each other as intellectual equals and sharing a commitment to balancing family and career. From 1978 to 1980, Yellen taught at the London School of Economics, following Akerlof's appointment there. In 1980, they relocated to Berkeley, where Yellen joined the faculty at the University of California, Berkeley's Haas School of Business. She became a beloved teacher, earning the Earl F. Chait Award for Excellence in Teaching in 1985 and 1988, and rose to the rank of Eugene E. and Catherine M. Trefethen Professor of Business Administration and Economics. Her research focused on macroeconomics, unemployment dynamics, and international trade, emphasizing policies to promote economic stability and equity. Federal Reserve and Public Service, 1994-2010. Yellen's public service career began in earnest in 1994 when President Bill Clinton nominated her to the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, praising her as a leading economist on macroeconomics and labor markets. Serving until 1997, she challenged then-Chair Alan Greenspan's free market orthodoxy, notably convincing him in 1996 that a 2% inflation target, rather than zero inflation, was healthier for the economy, a policy now standard at the Fed. Her ability to engage in clear-eyed debate earned her respect, even from ideological opponents. In 1997, Clinton appointed Yellen chair of the White House Council of Economic Advisers, where she advised on economic policy and led a study on the gender pay gap, concluding that discrimination, not productivity differences, drove much of the disparity. She also chaired the Economic Policy Committee of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, from 1997 to 1999. Returning to Berkeley in 1999, Yellen resumed teaching until 2004, when she was appointed president and CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. During this tenure, 2004-2010, she was among the first to warn of a housing bubble, raising concerns about risky lending practices like no document and ninja loans. When the 2008 financial crisis hit, Her leadership helped manage the fallout in one of the Fed's largest regions, covering 20% of the U.S. economy. Federal Reserve Vice Chair and Chair, 2010-2018. In 2010, President Barack Obama appointed Yellen Vice Chair of the Federal Reserve Board, and in 2013, he nominated her to succeed Ben Bernanke as chair. Her nomination faced opposition from some Republicans, who viewed her as too focused on unemployment over inflation, and from Senator Rand Paul, who pushed for greater Fed transparency. A letter from over 500 economists and support from liberal Democrats like Elizabeth Warren bolstered her candidacy. On January 6, 2014, the Senate confirmed her 56-26, the narrowest margin for a Fed chair, and she took office on February 3, 2014, becoming the first woman to lead the U.S. Central Bank. As chair, 2014-2018, Yellen oversaw the post-2008 recovery, gradually unwinding the Fed's stimulus measures, including its bond buying program, while maintaining low interest rates to support job and wage growth. Under her leadership, unemployment fell from 6.7% to 4.1%, a 50-year low, and the economy achieved a record-long expansion. She advocated for tighter financial regulations, defending the Dodd-Frank Act to prevent another crisis, and adopted a cautious, data-driven approach inspired by Tobin and Bernanke. Her tenure saw the S&P 500 return 46%, averaging over 10% annually, though she emphasized labor markets over stock performance. Yellen's focus on employment earned her the label of a monetary dove, though she also expressed hawkish concerns about fiscal deficits. President Donald Trump declined to renominate her in 2018, and she was succeeded by Jerome Powell. Yellen joined the Brookings Institution as a distinguished fellow, co-chairing its productivity measurement initiative. Treasury Secretary, 2021-2025. In November 2020, President-elect Joe Biden nominated Yellen as Treasury Secretary, a role she assumed on January 26, 2021, after Senate confirmation, 84-15. As the first woman in this position, she navigated the economic fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic, advocating for the American Rescue Plan and a global minimum corporate tax rate to curb tax evasion. Her tenure saw robust economic growth, a rapid labor market recovery, and inflation cooling to near the Fed's 2% target, achieving a soft landing despite initial high inflation. Yellen's policies emphasized equity, with real wage gains and historically high prime-age labor force participation. Her signature appeared on U.S. banknotes alongside Treasurer Lynn Malerba, marking the first time two women's signatures graced U.S. currency. Post-Treasury and Legacy. After her Treasury term ended on January 20, 2025, Yellen joined the Harvard Salata Institute for Climate and Sustainability's Advisory Board and PIMCO's Global Advisory Board. She remains a professor emerita at Berkeley, with honorary doctorates from Brown, Yale, Bard, and others, and the Wilbur Cross Medal from Yale for her contributions to scholarship and public service. Yellen's career is defined by firsts: the first woman to lead the Fed, Treasury, and San Francisco Fed, and the only person to head the Fed, Treasury, and Council of Economic Advisors. Described as empathetic yet rigorous, she has championed workers, advocated for financial stability, and navigated economic crises with a focus on data and human welfare. Her marriage to Akerlof, a partnership of equals, and her love of cooking, travel, and ethnic cuisine reflect a grounded personal life. As John Hilsenrath's biography Yellen and Owen Ullman's Empathy Economics note, her legacy lies in her ability to balance democracy and capitalism, making economics accessible and impactful for all.